So the last NBA expansion team was the Charlotte Bobcats back in 2004. Now they're the Charlotte Hornets because the Bobcats they needed to be different. And then they got the Hornets from New Orleans, and then New Orleans became the Pelicans. But it got me thinking, what other markets are out there that are untapped by the NBA? But a city that I always thought could use a basketball team is Pittsburgh. Because, think about it, they've got the Steelers, they've got the Pirates, and they've got the Penguins for hockey. They have literally every other sport. So welcome once again to Big Steez Gaming. I am Ian, the Big Steez, and we are back in NBA 2K21 Next Gen doing a My NBA expansion rebuild. Now, I am going to try to keep this as realistic as possible, and we're going to go for a couple of seasons at least to see how long it takes the Pittsburgh Force to win a title as an expansion team. The reason that I'm not doing a Supersonics rebuild like I was doing on the last Gen 2K is because it's been done a few times, and I wanted to try something a little bit different than rebuilding a team that has existed and instead going for a team that hasn't existed. Before we get started, thank you guys so much for watching. I know my audience isn't huge, but for those of you that watch, I really appreciate it. If you would, leave a like, leave a comment. If you're not subscribed and you're watching this, or what are you doing with your life? Subscribe, because when I do end up actually uploading videos, I mean, you'd want to be able to see them, right? So subscribe, just tell me what you guys want to see, and I'll do my best. So obviously, when we're talking about an expansion team in the NBA, we have to do an expansion draft. Now, the other team that I picked to be in this rebuild with us is the Seattle Supersonics, because it would be weird to just have one team more in the East than in the West. You got to have it evened out. So 32 teams total, Pittsburgh Force, Seattle Supersonics. But I have to make my first pick. Why on God's green earth was Devin Booker not protected? Why? He's 24 years old. He's a freaking bucket getter. Remember how in that last Seattle series, how I traded for Devin Booker so early? I won't have to do that this time. I'll just take him. So with my second pick, I'm going to take Otto Porter. He's relatively young. He's not the best, but I mean, it's an expansion draft. He is making a lot of money, so he might end up being a trade piece for us. So we'll go ahead and take him. With my third pick, I'm going to take Robert Williams. He's not the best offensive weapon. He's also not a very tall center, but he has good interior defense, and he's a pretty good rebounder, so we will pick him up. As Supersonics pick up Ricky Rubio, and they pick up Denny Avila. I completely forgot about there being any rookies in this class. So with this pick, I'm going to take Rondo, specifically because we do need a point guard, because as good as Devin Booker is, he can't play two positions at the same time. And now we have all of our starting positions. We just need a power forward to go along with them. And that guy is going to be Maxi Kleber, because he's got the size. He's a freaking bucket getter. All he does in real life is come off the bench and shoot threes. So in our game, he's just going to be a really good power forward option. Actually, I will take Mike Conley, because he will be a good trade piece, especially with his freaking salary, because he's making $34.5 million this season, which is a little bit ridiculous. I will take Terrence Ross here, because he can be a good option for us at either shooting guard or small forward. And you know what? That backup 4, possibly a 3 if I change his position, will be Paul Millsap. He's just the best player available, and so I'd much rather have him on my team than him be on the other team. But I'll take Kelly Olynyk instead, because Kelly Olynyk is a really good backup, and he can stretch the floor, especially if we do switch him to power forward. And I'll just take Justin Holiday because he just has decent stats all the way across the board. Now we're just trying to fill out our deep backup position. So we'll take Rudy Gay there. He's been a solid player from his days in Memphis and now being in San Antonio. Is he still in San Antonio? I cannot remember off the top of my head whether he is in San Antonio. But so we've got our 3 power forwards. I'm going to draft 2 centers right now. So I will take Cody Zeller and then I'll take Nerlens Noel because if any of y'all remember or even watched my single position video, the center position is the one that if you have more of on your team, you have better success because the team of all centers won the freaking finals for us. We're going to pick up George Hill, who I believe is playing now for the Thunder, and that appears to be it. So with that, our team is assembled. It's not great looking at it right now. So far, before I make any moves, we've got a lineup of Mike Conley, Devin Booker, Otto Porter, Rudy Gay, and Cody Zeller with Paul Millsap, Rondo, Terrence Ross, George Hill, and Maxi Kleber coming off of the bench. I am going to make at least a couple of trades before we start games because we need to have a little bit better of a team. I know we're not going to be great this first season, but we need something. So our first trade of the Pittsburgh Force, being an NBA team, will be trading Otto Porter and our first next season to pick up Al Horford and a first this year from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes, Al Horford is making a lot more money because he's still got 2 years left on his deal. But if we hold on to him, we can move him just before draft night and probably get another pick for this draft because this draft is freaking loaded. So we will go ahead and accept this deal. Our next move is going to be moving Rudy Gay and our second round pick this year for Larry Nance Jr. from the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's a power forward. It says his backup position is center, but he's also 6'7", so he could probably run small forward for us and be a better option than what we have right now. Deal's done. Moving Larry Nance to a small forward will still make him a 79 overall. Still makes him our highest rated small forward on the team. Paul Millsap just goes down. Al Horford can't play it, so you know what? We'll make Larry Nance our starting small forward, but I will go ahead and make his backup position power forward as well because that's his actual position. And if he can play some backup power forward for us too, I'm not going to complain all that much. So if we look at our rotation now, Larry Nance was really the only thing we switched out aside from Al Horford, but Al Horford coming off the bench is freaking insane. I think that is all of the trades we're going to do right now because we don't have really the capital or the production pieces to really put together a blockbuster trade because I'm not trading Devin Booker. I'm not trading Devin Booker because he is going to be the cornerstone of our team and he's playing the most minutes for us. So that is all the trades we're going to make. So our lineup is looking like Conley, Booker, Nance Jr., Millsap, and Zeller with Al Horford, Rondo, Terrence Ross, George Hill, and Maxi Kleber coming off of our bench. We're going to keep it at a 10-man rotation. First scoring option is obviously going to be Devin Booker. Offensive focus, we're not going to play through the star. We are going to remain neutral. Limit transition, yeah, that works. Crash the defensive glass, we do have guys that can't do that. So we're simulating the first couple of weeks of the season up until December 13th. Our first game as a franchise against the Toronto Raptors, we lose, but we only lose by 5. We put up 33 points in the first quarter and 36 points in the fourth quarter, Just that in-between part that wasn't great. taking a look, Devin Booker as our first scoring option put up 28 points, which is pretty sweet. Cody Zeller got 17 and 13. Not bad. Al Horford off the bench got 10 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks. That is pretty sweet. But Al Horford also got into foul trouble. Larry Nance, as our small forward, ended up with 10 rebounds and 3 assists, a steal, and a block. Wow. That was a pretty good move for him. So let's go up against the Lakers. And we're going to lose pretty big. But we only lost by 15. It could have been a lot worse. Devin Booker puts up 32. Terrence Ross off the bench puts up 29. He was 5 for 7 from 3. Rondo was actually perfect from 3 in that game. Al Horford and Larry Nance both had 9 rebounds. But when you're going up against LeBron and AD, you don't really get that much of a chance. And like I was saying earlier, I don't expect us to be good this season unless we're playing a team that's not as good like the Indiana Pacers. Apparently, the 2K just doesn't like the Pacers whenever we simulate. So Devin Booker had 25 points and 8 assists. He put up 20 shots. He hit exactly half of them. Paul Millsap put up 25 and 9. Mike Conley put up 22 and 8 with 3 steals. He also was 6 for 9 from 3. That's pretty sweet, especially for Mike Conley, who's not really known for being a knockdown 3-point shooter. So yeah, that was pretty big, especially for our first win as a franchise. So let's go ahead and sim through this game with the Trailblazers that we lose by 11. Yeah, we allowed 41 points in the first quarter. That is not a good look. But Devin Booker put up 42 points. He also had 4 turnovers, which is not great, and 4 fouls. But he was 6 for 8 from 3. So far on the season for him, he is almost at 32 points a game, shooting 54, 48, 96. Holy crap, why did the Suns not protect him in that expansion draft? So I simulated this next game against the Pacers, and once again we beat the absolute tar out of them. We beat them by 27 points. Devin Booker is freaking awesome. We also had 7 players scoring in double digits. They only had 5, but Sabonis ended up with a triple-double. Sabonis could be someone we maybe try to pick up. It's going to take a lot of assets to get him, but I think we could fairly easily. Now, I do want to play one game, but this trade comes in. That's very interesting. I have been getting DeMar a lot in rebuilds. Going to give them a top 3 protected pick from 2023, because why not? And we're also going to give up Justin Holiday to pick up Jakob Poeltl and DeMar DeRozan, and also a second for this year. DeMar DeRozan will instantly add another scoring option in our starting lineup, and that'll allow Larry Nance to come off the bench. And Jakob Poeltl, I mean, it's another big, and we can move him to power forward, and it will just allow us to be better as a team, especially being in the Eastern Conference, where they just happen to have a lot of fantastic big men. So let's go ahead and find Jakob Poeltl, and we will make him a power forward. So now is a 79 overall. So now Maxi Kleber is kind of the odd man out in the power forward room, but we have a lot of bigs. Could some of those be used as trade pieces later on? Possibly. But we're not going to do that right now. We are, before I go into the next game, going to retool our lineup. So now George Hill is starting for us at point guard because we got rid of Mike Conley. I am not upset about that. I am not upset about that at all. Rondo's coming off the bench, which is fine. This is not a bad starting lineup, if I do say so myself. I did want to try to play a game with this team because I put them together, and it seems like we're competing fairly well against some of the better teams. I mean, this is the 76ers, And it is looking like we actually have a chance to possibly win this game. Actually, we are going to win this game. We're up 13 points in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to jump in. And we're playing in our arena, which is one of the 2K generated arenas. So it looks pretty good. Okay, so they make that. So it is now a 12-point game. We've got George Hill in. Let's get the ball to Devin Booker. We'll go ahead and... That was not a good sequence. But we will shoot a 3 that will get tipped in by Devin Booker. So he will get the rebound and the points. So we are now leading in this game. George Hill on Ben Simmons is probably not good, but George Hill gets the steal and gets the easy fast break points. This is weird. Why are we beating up so badly on the 76ers of all teams? Shake Milton on, what is that, Jakob? That's a weird matchup, but George Hill gets the rebound. We'll go ahead with DeMar straight to the rim. He is going to get fouled by Shake Milton. So Shake Milton was just on Jakob, and now he's guarding DeMar DeRozan. I don't know exactly where he's at right now. Shake Milton was at the 3, and why are they putting Shake Milton at the freaking power forward position? I will exploit that mismatch so hard. But right now, we just gotta... we'll put DeRozan on him. But let's see what we can get with our boy Devin Booker. He can get a foul and go to the line. Ben Simmons is about to foul out, but the game's over. They're not going to win. Let's try to get that as George Hill drains a 3 in the face of Ben Simmons, the man who has only made 3 3-pointers in his entire NBA career so far. They're sending in their bench boys. We've got our bench boys in. They put in Tyrese Maxey. Good. That's somebody that they're going to end up playing a lot this season. Because when Ben Simmons is running the 3 or the 4, they need somebody at the 1, and Tyrese Maxey is actually a pretty good option. So I fouled Tyrese Maxey because I wanted to get a steal with Rondo. Didn't work out all that well. Let's see, we got Terrence Ross, who is going to jam it over Vincent Poirier, and he is going to get fouled. That was pretty sweet. And the and one is ours. 10 seconds left in the game. I don't see what they would even do at this point. Let's just see. Oh, here comes Robert Williams, who is going to get the basket over Tyrese Maxey. I just like being unsportsmanlike, especially at the end of the game. And we are going to win by 20 points. I didn't cause us to lose that game. You'll love to see it. So real quick look at everybody's stats on the season so far. Devin Booker averaging 32 points a game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, almost a steal per game, almost 58% from the field, 51 from 3, and 97 from the line. That is insane. DeMar DeRozan, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 56 from the field. Not shooting threes. It's not what he's known for. He's a slasher. Terrence Ross is actually our 3rd leading scorer with almost 16 points a game and a steal per game. It's pretty good. 53, 48, 1,000. How many free throws has he taken, though? He's taken 16 free throws. He hasn't missed one yet? Okay, I'll take that. That's pretty good. Paul Millsap, 13 points, 6 rebounds, shooting 42, 40, 93. I like that efficiency. Cody Zeller, 10 points, almost 9 rebounds, shooting 47.5% from the field and not shooting threes. Again, I like that. George Hill, who is now our starting point guard, 10 points, a rebound and a half, 2 assists, 65, 75, 81. We got to get more into the season, but those are just insane splits. Al Horford has 9 points and 6 rebounds. He's shooting 48%. Rondo, almost 7 points. He's got 3 rebounds, 5.5 assists, a steal per game. Not shooting very efficiently. Jakob is a block god with 2.2 blocks. Larry Nance Jr. is doing pretty well in rebounding. That was a good pickup. He'll be a good rebounding force off the bench. And then Maxi Kleber, who is 50% from 3, and he has attempted 8. So he is coming off the bench, so that does make sense why he doesn't have as many attempts. And then Robert Williams with his 2 points, which I believe was that disrespectful bucket that I got at the end of that 76ers game. So I'm going to end it there. This is going to be a pretty exciting series because in the past with these extended rebuilds, I've said I'm going to be realistic, and then I've just completely blown it up. Like with the Spurs series, I was like, oh, I'm going to be realistic, and then I went out and I got Sabonis, and I got freaking Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart and all these other guys, and this is just going to be a little bit more grounded in reality. So thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, leave it a like, leave it a comment, subscribe if you are not subscribed already, and until next time, I think Pittsburgh really does need a basketball team.